There are whiskeys placed in the best spots on the shelf, carrying 100 years of reputation and a price tag that makes people believe there must be something special inside. But what happens when we actually look at how they are produced? Are you paying for quality or just for the marketing story? Today we will start from the top 7 and go gradually to the bottles truly worth pouring into a glass. Top 7. Balvenie Doublewood 12. Balvenie Doublewood 12 often appears in almost every list of recommendations for beginners getting acquainted with whiskey. Liquor store employees often introduce it as a safe choice, and online review videos also often mention it as the first door leading newcomers into the world of single malt. But does that reputation truly reflect what lies inside the bottle? When looking closely at how it is produced, many whiskey lovers begin to ask questions. This bottle is bottled at 40% alcohol, the minimum allowed, which means the whiskey is diluted to the maximum to increase the number of bottles sold. Additionally, the chill filtration process also removes many natural oils that create body and depth of flavor. The result is a whiskey with a light honey scent, a bit of vanilla, and very mellow oak, but it also disappears quickly. Nothing unpleasant, but nothing that makes you remember it for long. So the question is, why does a rather lackluster bottle become the default choice for beginners? Are we paying for reputation more than for the quality of the spirit inside? Top 6. Glenmorangie. Glenmorangie is one of the easiest single malts to find on common liquor shelves. Its price is often lower than many of its competitors, and it is that price that has made it a popular choice for those who want to try single malt without having to spend too much money. But what does a cheap price often reflect? When smelling this glass, many people realize that the aroma is almost indistinguishable, just a hint of light malt sweetness, sometimes a faint sensation that you have to focus very hard to recognize. When tasting, the experience is not much better. The texture is thin, the taste is quite diluted, and almost disappears as soon as you recognize it. A finish so fast that it makes people wonder if they actually just tasted anything memorable. Many reviewers say that Glenmorangie exists primarily to fill a low-price segment in the single malt market. But if so, does it truly represent what whiskey can bring? Or does it just make newcomers believe that single malt is inherently that bland? Top 5. Cardhu 12. Cardhu 12 carries a long history and a name once considered a symbol of whiskey tradition. This whiskey is often placed in beautiful bottles and looks quite premium on the shelf. But when looking deeper into how it is used in the whiskey industry, many people begin to realize an interesting truth. Most of the production from this distillery is actually used for blending in famous blended whiskeys. That means the single malt version we see on the shelf is sometimes just the surplus production after blending demands have been met. And when looking at production specs, the story becomes familiar again. 40% alcohol, chill filtered to create clarity for the spirit. The initial aroma brings a bit of light malt and fruit, creating an accessible feeling. But when drinking, the flavor is quite shallow, lacking development and finishing relatively quickly. So does Cardhu 12 truly deserve the luxury image it displays on the shelf? Or is it just relying on its history to maintain its reputation? Top 4. Highland Park 12. Highland Park 12 was once considered one of the classic whiskeys that any whiskey lover should try at least once. For many years, it was mentioned as a perfect example of the balance between honey sweetness and a characteristic light peat smoke. But in recent years, many longtime drinkers have begun to realize that the experience is no longer the same as before. The price of this bottle has increased over time, while the flavor seems to have become lighter. When tasting the current version, you can still recognize traces of the old style, a bit of honey, a bit of light smoke, and that characteristic island feel. But everything seems to have decreased in intensity. It is all still there, just fainter. This makes many people ask, what has changed? Has larger scale production affected quality? Or is it simply that this bottle's reputation continues to exist thanks to the memory of previous versions? Top 3. Dalmore 12. Dalmore 12 is one of the most recognizable whiskeys on the shelf thanks to the metal stag head emblem attached to the bottle. The luxury design, deep color, and iconic imagery make many believe this is a high-end whiskey. But when looking deeper into how that color is created, many people learn that the deep color often comes from caramel coloring added during production. That does not mean the whiskey is undrinkable, but it shows that the attractive color is sometimes just a visual effect. This bottle is also bottled at 40% alcohol and undergoes chill filtration like many other bottles in this list. When tasting, you can feel some notes like orange, chocolate, and light spice. But many people realize that the overall experience is not truly as deep as its price suggests. So the question is Dalmore 12 loved for its flavor or for how it looks on the shelf? Top 2. Buchanan's 12 Deluxe. Buchanan's 12 Deluxe is a name associated with long history and a luxury image in many parties and anniversaries. The bottle with its characteristic gold label often appears on special occasions, and that has helped it build a strong position in whiskey drinking culture. But when evaluating the quality of the liquid inside alone, the story becomes different. This is a blended whiskey designed to be extremely easy to drink. Gentle flavor, a bit of honey, a bit of vanilla, and a very mellow smoke. Everything is rounded and soft to the point that there are almost no sharp edges. That sounds good, but that safety also makes it lack personality. No flavor note truly stands out. No layer of aroma makes you stop and think. And when the finish comes too quickly, many people wonder, does Buchanan's fame come from quality or from the image and tradition that this brand has built over decades? Top 1. Bunnahabhain 12. If the previous bottles disappointed many for being too dependent on reputation, Bunnahabhain 12 represents a completely different way of making whiskey. Right from the production specs, this bottle has shown a clear difference. It is bottled at 46.3% alcohol, significantly higher than the common minimum. No chill filtration, meaning natural oils and flavor compounds are retained. Additionally, the whiskey also does not use artificial caramel color, so the color you see in the glass comes entirely from the process of aging in wooden casks. When smelling, you can feel the scent of dried fruit, roasted nuts, and a characteristic touch of sea salt. When tasting, the flavor develops layer by layer with dark chocolate, malt, light spices, and a balanced sweetness. The finish is long and warm, leaving behind many layers of aroma after drinking. This is an example showing that quality whiskey does not necessarily have to rely on marketing or flashy design. Sometimes it all lies in how it is made. So, after looking through this list, did you notice something interesting? Not every expensive or famous whiskey truly brings a worthy experience. Sometimes the less promoted bottles bring the real value. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos, where we continue to explore the interesting stories behind the world of whiskey.